Today is August 22nd, 2026. Over the last few days, there wasn't as many people following me today. When you find out who the players are in this, it hits levels of not funny. When people realize it's Agent John doing this, and he's behind the whole big scam. In that him and his girlfriend and her father and Dave's ex-girlfriend's dad scamming everybody with a big drug dealer. And that's who's doing it. And they're the ones where Agent John's girlfriend wants to steal everything for her, and she happens to be Katie's family member. From his old church. And that's probably why they all helped out. And, this whole thing with, years ago, Strange used to be so strict about even the parents of adultery. His own brother, now, he was radical. This lady, her husband, was having a lot of medical problems. They were family friends, and their kids played over there, and they would go over there all the time. Well, she was grieving, and he hugged her. Human compassion. Well, he got caught hugging her. He told him to repent in front of the church. It's none of our business. It isn't. He refused. He threw him out. The woman got up and apologized to everyone, and I was little, and I hated it. Hated it. I thought, all for a hug? It's none of our business. And we all knew how bad her husband was. And he would tell people, if you even see a woman broke down from the church, if you're alone, you're not to put her in your car. You are not to even have the parents of adultery. So no one can touch your life, to the man that opens marriages. Tim, his son, my brother-in-law, my sister wouldn't stand up to her husband when he was cheating with Katie. And as weird as Strange was about Katie, usually you only see that kind of attachment when you're married to somebody or they're your lover. It makes you just wonder. You know what I mean? I used to be friends with her sister Trish, and years ago, she would come over and she's like, Karen, don't tell on me. She said, I've been going to the bars. Her sister Katie wasn't in church. And I used to go with her. She's crazy. She'd get mad at these women. She would take them outside, their husband or their boyfriend outside, have sex with them, come back in and say something, and start bar fights. She's crazy. Well, she brought that spirit into that church of getting even with people, breaking up marriages and relationships, and hurting people. And see, that's where, seriously, her and her family has caused all this. Seriously. Now we're going to go, I'll leave that part alone. But 2 days ago, just yesterday. Actually, we'll go back 2 days ago, on the 20th. I took my grandson Daniel to the Wellness Grove Center. I went to use the bathroom, a door went to open and close, and the girl is back there. She said, I don't want her to know I'm here. I listened to her. I stayed up the other night, and I went through how I got sick to, with endometriosis, to all the surgeries, my muscles locking up, going to the wrong doctors, then my whole body's swelling up, seizures, heart attacks, thyroid, adrenal gland shut down. Okay. And I have degenerative joint disease in my knees with having arthritis, all that swelling. My knees would just slide right out of place. I have an MRI with pulled muscles, fluid on the legs, fluid under the knee, a fluid-filled cyst on one side. And this couple big words, I looked them up and meant microscopic fractures. And she said, I listened to her and how sick she got on the wrong meds. And with her having the fluid on her legs like that, with having arthritis and the microscopic fractures, the pulled muscles beside her knees, no wonder they put her in braces. And the guy there said, they've wondered if Dave didn't have those doctors do it to her. See, that's what the investigators have been afraid of. With everything going on right now, because like they said, it took another doctor to tell on them that they were the ones doing it, causing everything, the massive body swelling to the seizures, heart attacks, the thyroid shutdown. They were killing me with the wrong meds, and it took another doctor to tell on them, and they've been worried that it was actually an attempt on my life back then. Because like they said, there's no way they didn't know they weren't killing me. She said, I found out it was 15 years before when Strange called her faker. And how could you call her a faker with all those things going on? Before the case started, I wouldn't have had anybody say anything to her. And I listened to everything and what happened to her. I don't want anybody to say another word to her again. Then yesterday on August 21st, 26, I took my grandson Daniel to my community health in the back Altman Hospital. While he was in the back, the door opened. There's two guys behind the door mocking me. How Agent John lets them watch me. Making fun of me for getting dressed. Now, they don't have to worry about any stalking charges because he'll just wipe them out. Who'd want that as fat as she is? Yeah. I have enough to deal with. And some guy said those drug dealers were drug beating, raping her. And some other guy got into it with him. Well, when you find out that we're on a recorded line, that agent, where he said, why, I told you how he told Apostolic Church of Barberton he knew I was being drugged, being raped, and didn't care. Because somebody called me a faker 15 years before. And even told him he was going to turn me back over to him. Okay? Before he even talked to me after the hotline. Then you think of, on a recorded line, he admits to having all the church people in his office, knew they were trying to kill me, didn't even blame him for trying to kill me, because some idiot called me a faker 15 years ago, a baby word. And it was just to cover up Tim and Katie. Strange's lie. Like they said, it really is Strange's lie. Everybody else has said it's been fraud, medical malpractice, medication errors caused everything. Okay? And he admits he's already talked to everyone. Then he makes fun of me for some guy named Pete and how he's stalking me and some kind of tape of weird with yourself, and I don't even know what he's talking about. And to find out who Pete is. And then when you find out he makes fun of me for some weird doctor, and I had to hold my breath because at that point I wanted to yell at him. And I was desperate for help. And then I'm trying to make sense of all the craziness coming out of his mouth. I thought, well, some other lady used my insurance. Maybe it was one of hers. You find out who Pete is and the dirty doctor. They're the same person. And so is Henry Moffey. It's his girlfriend's dad running a scam on me. So he was part of the whole scam. He knew it wasn't my doctor. He knew it was photoshopped, where his girlfriend, June 26, came in Dutch Valley Restaurant in front of a whole bunch of Stark County sheriffs laughing about the drug dealers they hired to do this to her. Taped her in the shower washing herself, photoshopped that in the other room to make her look weird with herself. They were making fun of her. Ha, 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 ha. The drug dealers picked her out personally to do it to her so they could steal everything from me. Like the Stark County Sheriff said, July 5th, 26. The girl laughing in the restaurant that she stole all the money is that agent's girlfriend. Has to pay to date. Some other investigator called her a prostitute. And she is Katie's family member. Okay. So that's where that guy Will, they talk about, is just Dave's girlfriend's dad impersonating with fake credentials an attorney's office. May 9th, 26, Myers and Alliance by the Front Register. Guy said, I'm so tired of that so-called attorney for children. The guy said he's no attorney. I checked his credentials. They're not real. And it's one of Dave's girlfriend's dad. It's that bad. It's just him impersonating one. Well, I didn't think he was an attorney. He doesn't know one law. So it's Dave's girlfriend's dad. Agent John's girlfriend's dad. And the big guy that showed up in 18, that showed up August 14, 26, and Bob Evans in Alliance. Big guy with lightish, medium brown hair, beard, muscles, like he's on steroids. With a short white guy bald with black strands across his head, black glasses, short little guy in a suit. And I wonder if the short little guy in the suit hasn't been paying for everything. That guy running his mouth, how Agent John only opened the case to steal all the money for herself, turned me over to him. And it's been him doing everything. He's probably where they've been talking about Agent John's girlfriend being in debt to a drug dealer. He's probably the drug dealer that she's in debt to. He's hiding behind a religious group. The other guy is on North Chapel in my old apartment in Louisville. Admitted he was in the office when they met with that agent. Where that guy said that Agent John turned me over to him. He wasn't interested in the case, said he didn't care what I did to her. He was just opening a case to steal the money for himself. That's why he said she couldn't say anything. Then tried to tell that guy the big lie of that attorneys are allowed to, the police let them break in people's homes, set up cameras, and go and do things like drug them for fake confessions, beat and rape them. No, they don't. They don't let them do any of that. They go to jail for that. When Carl finally got out of the bathroom, I went off. When I knew Carl was safe, of how stupid these people are. And the First Amendment, freedom of speech, only a judge during a jury trial can ever put a gag order on you. They can't sign a gag order. It's not in the court order. That agent was only bullying me. If you look at the freedom of speech, what is a jail sentence for an agent telling an informant if they say anything they won't get their money? It's blackmail. Like the Stark County Sheriff said July 5th, 26th, they knew he couldn't say it. They thought he was acting that way. Until he showed up at the other courthouse trying to get the case thrown out September 10th, 25, Tuscarawas County Courthouse. And now they realize he is with the cartel. Okay. And what is the jail sentence for an agent telling them, foreman, if they say anything, they won't get their money? It's blackmail, extortion, a crime against the U.S. government, extortion out of government funds, tampering with a witness, obstruction justice is 20 to life. Same for a judge, if he would sign it. No one can take your freedom of speech away in the United States, and the only time a judge can do it is during a jury trial, and that's it. It's on not only on Google, it's on, I talked to a criminal attorney, the prosecutor's office, police departments. What is a jail sentence if an FBI agent says if you say anything you won't have protection? It's attempted murder. Aiding and abetting crimes, obstruction to justice, tampering with a witness, it is 20 to 30 years, and same for a judge. No one can take your freedom of speech away. No one can take your right to having protection. That's the 14th Amendment. 4th Amendment, police and agencies only can be in a home under a threat of life with statements in a court order, and they have to have statements of threat of life from everyone in that home and agree to protect them in a court order, or even the FBI would go to jail. And I went off in that restaurant and they left. Some girl was dying laughing. But see, that's where Agent John's girlfriend's laughing. He's been stealing all the money, and that where I got the information for Michael Peterson smuggling oil into the United States back in 21, the end of 21, November, December 21. Lady investigator said she called down there and asked about it, and they said it wasn't legit. Within 2 years, Trekasami and 50 other people were arrested for smuggling oil out from underneath their government. It was a $10 million reward. They said they stole that too. I gotta go, but there's even laws that the informant's money is protected, and any award money that could never be touched. And it is only to be to that informant. And otherwise, yeah, somebody needs to arrest him. None of this is funny, and they can't attach it anything. It's all under government protected money.